For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas. I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas. Today, a funeral is scheduled for Michael Brown. Brown's death at the hands of police focused international attention on race relations in the United States. Brown was unarmed when he was shot by police on August 9th. His funeral will be held in a Baptist church with up to 4,000 people expected to attend. Controversial civil rights activist Reverend Al Sharpton will deliver the eulogy, while the White House has confirmed that 3 officials will attend on behalf of President Barack Obama. Brown's father called for a day of calm for protesters and to observe a day of silence to mark the occasion. For the latest, we go to our correspondent in Ferguson, Missouri.
Good afternoon. This is a sanctuary-friendly temple which has deep roots in St. Louis Black community and today holds more than 4,000 people who will be attending Michael Brown's funeral. The White House is sending 3 representatives to the funeral. Other known personalities or activists will be here for the ceremony, like Trayvon Martin Luther King Jr.'s son, and the film director Spike Lee. Events are to be followed with a funeral procession to the cemetery St. Peter's and then a private repast. Francesca Manuele, San Luis, Missouri, Telesur.
Moving on, another 8 Palestinians were killed in continuing Israeli attacks on Gaza, including 2 in a shelling of some of the most densely populated areas of the enclave. The attacks destroyed 2 mosques in Beit Hanun. With these attacks, the death toll rises to over 2,100. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warns that the current military offensive in Gaza could continue until September because Israel has yet to achieve its goals. Our Gaza correspondent Noor Harazin has the latest from Gaza.
Right now I'm standing in Almina Street. The IDF called on residents who are residing in Taiba 1 building to evacuate because they will be targeting the building, including even internationals, journalists who are residing in this building did receive the calls. The building is just located behind me. As you can see, it's the building with the green windows. However, there has been many Israeli strikes on the Gaza Strip. Over 8 Palestinians were killed today in different Israeli strikes on the Gaza Strip that targeted buildings or cars.
More than 500 people have been killed following a bout of intense fighting between Islamic State extremists and Syrian armed forces. The deaths followed the storming of the Takba air base by the extremists on Sunday. The head of the Syrian army accuses United States officials of possessing knowledge regarding who is funding the Islamic State, saying the expansion of ISIS is not accidental. Uruguayan Foreign Minister Luis Almagro confirmed his country is awaiting the arrival of more than 100 Syrian refugees. Delegates from Uruguay's government are in Lebanon today to interview the first set of asylum seekers. Uruguay officials say their country is particularly concerned about the most vulnerable families and those with children. Canada's first ever People's Social Forum closed this weekend with thousands in attendance. They hope to build a new alternative structure in Canada. For more, here's our Canadian correspondent Luchacho Granada Ceja.
After 3 intense days, the People's Social Forum concluded on Sunday. The program addressed topics such as indigenous sovereignty, the climate change crisis, and the political situation of countries all over the world, from Ukraine to Venezuela.
The revolution in Venezuela is a spark, is hope.
Participants filled the halls and rooms. Many were enthused hearing about the different experiences of political struggle. As people prepared to board buses and planes home, most expressed a sense of hope about the possibilities for change in Canada.
And when I see all these people here, and all these different points of view, none of whom support this new liberal austerity agenda, none of whom support the war agenda, none of whom support the racism, it really gives me a sense of optimism.
The voices and struggles of Indigenous peoples were particularly prominent at the forum, as they have been playing a decisive role in the fight against neoliberalism, represented by Prime Minister Harper.
People need to educate themselves. It's not just an Indigenous struggle, it's a world struggle, and our Earth is in dire straits right now, and people need to wake up.
Activists reported that they were able to make links and build networks with other organizers throughout the country and beyond.
We have one major foe that we're fighting right now, and it's Chevron. And we just want to give a shout out to our people in Ecuador, our friends down there, who are also struggling against Chevron, and ensure that the message gets out that Chevron has a dirty hand and everybody needs to know about it. Here we're creating alliances with people from all over the planet, and we're proud to say that we're of the same mindset.
Activists reported that in order to succeed, the movement against neoliberalism and the Harper government must be led by social movements and grassroots organizations, and not professional lobbyists and NGOs. With reporting from Santiago Escobar, this is Lucho Granado Ceja for Telesur.
The Sao Paulo Forum Conference of leftist parties and groups from Latin America and the Caribbean is set to begin today in Bolivia. About 180 delegates from the Americas, the Caribbean, and Europe are expected to attend. At the meeting, some Latin American governments will present a report on efforts in the region to fight against foreign interference and imperialism. The meeting will also inaugurate a political school for leadership development. France's government is reeling today after Prime Minister Manuel Valls dissolved his government's executive branch. The move comes after Economy Minister Arnaud Montebourg accused the French government of pandering to European economic policy, saying that is strangling economic growth. Socialist Party President Francois Hollande has received criticism for complying with EU austerity measures at a time when France is struggling with high unemployment. Recent polls show that a mere 17% of people in France approve of Hollande's performance as president. Widespread corruption in the Philippines has prompted protests and a petition. A series of political scandals prompted the campaign, which hopes to collect signatures of at least 6 million people, or 10% of voters, over the next year, demanding tougher anti-corruption laws. President Benigno Aquino III has confronted a number of impeachment charges over the last month, claiming corruption and misuse of public money. Filipinos are also calling for the creation of more jobs as millions of Philippine workers are forced to look for work overseas. And we end on a lighter note. A huge new skateboard park in La Paz, Bolivia is drawing visitors from across the world. Built by more than 100 volunteers from 17 countries and funded by the Bolivian government, the 1,400-acre skate park attracts more than 3,000 visitors per week. It includes ramps with an altitude of more than 4,000 meters above sea level. The skate ramps have been designed to mirror the snow-capped mountains surrounding La Paz, including Bolivia's highest peak, Illimani. More on those and other stories at our website. Hope you'll check it out. telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle.